Why a man should never complain. Ethan sat on his porch, staring at the setting sun, its warm hues painting the sky. He sighed, running a hand through his graying hair, and thought about the advice his grandfather had given him long ago. A man should never complain. Ethan's life had been a series of ups and downs. He'd faced the loss of his parents at a young age, the struggles of raising his siblings, and the heartache of losing his wife to illness. Through it all, he remembered his grandfather's words. He didn't understand them at first. Why shouldn't he complain? Weren't his struggles worthy of recognition? One particularly rough day, Ethan was fixing a fence on his farm. His hands were blistered, his back ached, and the sun beat down relentlessly. Frustration bubbled inside him, but just as he was about to voice his grievances, he saw his neighbor, old Mr. Jenkins, hobbling towards him.
"Afternoon, Ethan,"
Mr. Jenkins greeted, his voice cheerful despite his obvious discomfort. Ethan nodded, trying to mask his frustration. As they worked together, Ethan couldn't help but notice Mr. Jenkins's demeanor. Despite his age and arthritis, he moved with a certain grace, his face always adorned with a kind smile. "How do you do it, Mr. Jenkins?" Ethan finally asked, unable to contain his curiosity. "How do you stay so positive?" Mr. Jenkins paused, leaning on his cane. "It's all about perspective, my boy. Life will always throw challenges your way. Complaining won't change that. But finding the strength to face those challenges head-on, without grumbling, that's where true character is built." Ethan listened intently, the words resonating deeply. Mr. Jenkins continued, "When you complain, you give power to your problems. But when you face them with determination and a positive mindset, you grow stronger. You inspire those around you." From that day forward, Ethan took Mr. Jenkins's advice to heart. Whenever life became tough, he reminded himself of the strength found in silence. Instead of complaining, he focused on solutions, finding joy in small victories and solace in the support of his community. Years later, Ethan stood in the same spot on his porch, his grandchildren playing in the yard. He watched them, a smile tugging at his lips. His life hadn't been easy, but it had been rich with love and lessons. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ethan whispered to the wind, "Thank you, Grandpa. You were right. A man should never complain." And in the quiet of the evening, he felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that he had lived his life with strength and grace.